Alright, welcome back. Last time in the City of Liars, you guys finished your second case, solved it, found the missing kid, and brought him back home safely, for the most part, and received your payment. Now, the next 2 weeks are going to leave you open to whatever sorts of activities you want to do. And you, I assume, go all about your separate businesses. But halfway through, about a week after solving the case, Ari and Mitra, you two get called in by Jack, who wanted you guys to come and meet somebody, he said. So, you guys both arrive at Myriad Mysteries just after closing time at sundown. And you guys are sitting and talking with Jack about, whatever you've been doing that week. When suddenly there's a knock at the door. And Jax and Rem, is that what you want to go by?
Remy.
Well, your friend Jax and large warforge walk in. Would you like to describe your character, Bishop?
Yeah, so I am about 6.5 feet tall, entirely made of metal. I don't wear clothes or anything. No real distinguishing marks. I don't have any damaged pieces or anything.
Sword arm?
Oh yeah, I have a
Distinguishing.
Well, the whole point of that is that you're not supposed to see the sword until he wants you to see it.
Is it? Does it change from hand to sword?
so I can retract it back into my arm and it becomes a hand.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know.
So what? On the surface, you're just like the most average warforged that's ever existed.
Exactly.
Just walked out of the factory.
Not too big,
Stop.
not too small. Just normal, average size Warforged.
The most stock warforged. Jack looks over and he's like, there's the two. I wanted you guys to meet the new guy. What do you call him, Jax?
Oh, this is Remy. Everybody, Remy. This is the crew.
Would you guys like to describe your characters for Bishop?
Yeah. So Ari is a open changeling. So like all silvery whitish features except for a bit of a streak of violet in their hair. I wear a dress, but it has a lot of pockets. It's a very practical dress. Of blue, purple, and red. And currently at the moment I have the Spade of Eladra, the Club of Eladra on my shirt. One of my holy symbols that I wear. One of many.
Mitra looks like a nun, like you would expect to see in the cathedral of the Sovereign Host. In her robes and a headscarf, black in the Sharn tradition, the holy symbol of the sovereign host. She is ostensibly human by all visual accounts.
So Jack pipes in. Oh, by the way, Bishop, Jack is a 60-year-old human man with swept back silver hair, and he's got a ersatz eye in his left eye. You've only heard of him through Jax. Apparently, he's the guy running the show here. But he says, yeah, so on the last job, I got a little bit worried, I'm not gonna lie. You guys going down there fighting Dask and all that. So I figured we ought to get somebody who actually, knows their way around a sword.
I'd agree with that. You know, Mitra here is surprisingly strong and capable, but it would be good to have a more standard form of muscle around to show people we mean business.
That's very nice of you to be concerned, Jack.
Of course, he's gonna be splitting the pay, so better hope we get some more big jobs coming in soon. Well, do you drink? And he looks at you, Remy.
No food, no drink for me.
Even socially?
No, I would hate to rust.
Alright, well, I was gonna treat everybody to a drink at my favorite bar, but I guess you don't have to come if you don't want to. Alright,
Don't worry, I'll have his. He'll come and hang out.
I could use a pint of oil for lubrication.
I don't know if they serve that. You have to ask. Come on. The night's young. Let's unwind a bit. And yeah, he invites you guys out to his favorite spot. Do y'all want to go?
Sure.
I'm down.
Might as well.
Let's do it.
We got any party clothes? You guys?
Nope.
You guys just gonna do confession while we're down there?
I
Not
can
unless
change
somebody
into
asks.
something a little nicer. And I put on my 5th dress. This one, a more of a summer dress, for the hotter weather here in Sharn, of silver and purple stripes. Gotta have something for every occasion, of course.
Nice.
I just get I guess I have some sort of a nice coat that I can put over top of my armor to hide it. Look like a decent person when I go out.
Well, he takes you over to a nearby district. I don't know if any of you would have been to it. It's only a short walk away, though. It's a place called Harith's Folly. Bit of an odd district. As you guys walk through, you notice that the towers here have very odd architecture. You notice some extremely wide, circular doorways.
What was it
Very-
called? Sorry. What was the name?
It's a place called Harith's Folly. You notice that the doorways are really wide, but then there's really narrow staircases, and the architecture looks like a mishmash of all sorts of different cultures from around Corvair. Even some that are even more exotic, like Adarian architecture. But he takes you down to this this unusual looking tavern with these huge windows that overlook the interior of this tower that's completely hollow. The interior of the tower is taken up by this spiraling stairway that goes around the outside, while on the interior there's at the very bottom there's like a park and an open glass ceiling above shining down a little bit of light. And you can see these people writing hippogriffs flying around out in the middle of the spire, dueling each other in what's called Skyblade competition. Although this doesn't look like an official competition, it looks like they're just sparring. But this place he takes you to, it's got this large illusory sign that is, covered in illusory fire. And the name of the tavern is the King of Fire. And inside you find a nice booth. And Jack's like, yeah, this is the place to go if you want to watch some Skyblade. You guys like betting on that?
I'm not familiar.
I've seen a few duels in my years. I'd like to give a wager.
He calls over some drinks, and you guys have yourselves a nice, relaxing, and otherwise uneventful night, unless there's anything special you'd like to do.
Nope.
Definitely bet a little bit on some hippogriffs.
He tells you, Remy, yeah, I think for now I'm gonna have you running some small gigs. Shouldn't take too much of your time, but, gotta get you ready for when shit starts getting serious.
Understood.
You know
What did you
anything
have in
about... You know anything about finding lost pets? What about spying on ex-wives?
I'm not very sneaky when it comes to hiding in the shadows and that sort of thing, so spying probably not my strong suit, but I'm good at tracking.
You'll do just fine. He gives you like a pat on the shoulder, and fortunately you don't get your pints of oil. They don't serve that there. I'm sure there's a bar down in the cogs you could go to for that stuff.
Jax definitely has like a little chuckle when he says that and smiles at Remy. He's in a way that's kind of like, he knows that Remy's quite capable, you know what I mean? But nobody else really knows him yet, so he just kind of like, he waits, lets him show him type deal. Gets a nice little chuckle out of it. The thought of the giant warforged that I've seen kill people trying to find a dog.
When they tell me that there's
6.5 foot tall is like, I'm like, this guy's 3 of me.
When they tell me there's no oil, I want to pull out one of my flasks of lantern oil and lubricate myself with it.
Yeah, I don't even... Is that even like a good idea? That shit's like flammable.
Yeah,
You sure you
oil
wanna...
usually is.
Well,
Gotta keep
yeah,
the gears
but
turning
like
somehow.
I mean like highly flammable. Like
Maybe you just
if one of your gears like grinds the wrong way, you just like go up in flames.
I'm very well maintained.
Just starts drinking out of the lamp of the lantern like it's a bottle.
his hands fit perfectly around the lantern like it's a mug. Like-
So, Remy, what do you think of Sharn? You're not from around here, right?
No, I'm from Thrain. It's a little crowded here.
Yeah, you get used to it. But what brings you around these parts?
I'm looking for somebody. I was told that they could be found here in Sharn.
Yeah, depending on who that is, it could be a real fucking hassle. It's like finding a needle in the world's largest haystack.
Yeah. Can't find nothing if you ain't looking.
Just ask
Remy's
these guys
just
about
gonna
their
nod
last
and
case.
look up.
I mean, that wasn't too bad. Once we got the kobold, everything kind of followed rather naturally.
It was much easier for you. You didn't have to crawl through a sewer.
That is true. The perks of not being the movement.
Didn't you guys like get in a fight with like Daz?
Briefly.
Yeah, but to be honest, I expected more out of them from all the stories I hear. But
The
Thought we
leader
got
was
off
quite
light.
reasonable. Yes, the leader was quite reasonable.
indeed.
I don't
And
think the leader's done messing with us, by the way. There's no way they didn't follow us.
Perhaps.
but to be honest, I'm not too sure. I myself am done messing around in the lower wards. I don't know. I really feel for them down there. Their water supplies being poisoned by the forges. Something ought to be done about that.
It is certainly unfortunate.
This city's existed for over 200 years now, and believe me, things have not gotten an ounce better in the Undercity.
Hmm.
They seem cursed, honestly.
I'm not sure I would say that. There are some people who yearn for change and some people who are resistant to it.
I certainly don't blame those guys in Droam getting together. I mean, knowing the kind of shit that those monstrous folk got to deal with, like, it's not surprising. That's all I'm gonna say. Dask, though, there's something else, man. I've seen them do some terrible shit.
Hmm.
Let's do our best to steer clear.
Young Leo was gravely wounded by the watch.
I mean, what was he doing down there?
Oh, he was in a riot.
Yeah, it sounds about right. He plays stupid games, wins stupid prizes.
Perhaps.
I don't know though. A riot for water is about as honorable as a game as one can get in. Certainly more honorable than the types of games we play out here. So just for coin. There, it's life and death. I don't know. Perhaps I'm developing too much of a heart, but
There are worse things to develop.
He's done like one of those fucking journalists from the paper.
I've been poisoned by the media.
Oil in the water? That's fake news.
Did you say oil
Uh,
in the water?
Oh, maybe we could have you drink all the oiled up water. That could maybe clear it up.
He walks over and turns into like a big water filtration system.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. Maybe we could, I don't know, speak to Merrick's about it. I'm certain the Patriarch of House Caniff could have some control over what's being dumped out of Ash Black.
Hey, you know, how's Kenneth? They gotta make their money, so they're gonna do whatever keeps the gold flowing.
Don't we all?
As I said,
Yeah,
some
I
are
mean,
resistant to change.
everything is everything has checks and balances, though. If what they're doing, if they obviously they're not supposed to be doing it, I believe, we just need to get the right people to know. I'm gonna make sure that I file all the necessary paperwork that would be required of me as soon as I get a chance.
To who? You
The
gonna
House
send a
Civis,
letter to Nolan Turanok?
I'll send one to my mentor, at the very least, and ask him what to do.
Yeah, I met Turanok, actually, one time. He's a real ornery fucker. I don't trust the guy, frankly. He's probably in the clan's pocket. Well, is there anything else you'd guys like to do for the night?
I would probably, since this is like a gambling tavern, play some games. Probably some card games. I'd imagine that Ari's somewhat skilled in this, given her sh- her life as an Eladra priest. So I don't know what type of card games they got here.
Well, I mean, this tavern, it seems like their whole business is based around gambling on the Skyblade matches. But right now, I mean, it's pretty much dead, except for some old men who are like playing dice in the back.
Dice isn't as fun as cards. Well, I'll leave it for another time. I'm sure this place gets more popping when there's more Skyblade competitions.
All right. Well, if you guys have no other business, we can end scene there and get into the 2 weeks of downtime that you all have. What you want to do with it. Even though it is technically a longer span of time, it's going to work the exact same way as the last time. You get one long project that can be any number of things. It could be training proficiency with either a skill or a piece of equipment or a tool. You could search for specific information. You could research a spell, perhaps. You could craft an item. Tons of things. You could also just hustle and work to make a few extra gold.
We get a part-time job as a server.
But aside from that one project, you also can do any number of smaller, shorter things. Like if you just want to have a conversation with a particular character, you can do that. You can spend your gold go shopping, that sort of stuff. Minor things.
Yeah, I need to get a little bit of stuff from the store for sure.
But we're going to be starting with Ari. So, Seb, what do you think Ari is doing with their 2 weeks?
All right. So we made how much gold was it exactly?
How do you not have this written down?
I forgot to add it for some reason. It was 800, right, in total, and then
It was
divided among
700,
Okay,
but
you
divided
gave-
by 3, it was
you gave-
233.
Yeah, you gave 100 to like the business fund, and then you just
kept
decided to
233.
split the remaining 700.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I would definitely make another one of my enhanceability spell scrolls, spending 100 gold pieces on that, as I feel like that's a pretty useful spell to have as a scroll. Then I would.
Can't remember. Did you make scrolls before?
Yeah, I have calligrapher's supplies proficiency.
Right. Did you do that last time we had downtime?
Yep, that was, and I used the scroll during the last session since I was out of
Okay.
spell slot.
Okay, interesting. I just forgot.
No worries. So that would be the first thing I do. So that'd be like 3 days, 100 gold. Then I would work on putting an emblem on my shield. It'd be an emblem of the Silver Flame because they're the religion I trust the most in combat.
Interesting.
You know, I feel when it comes to fighting, I trust the Silver Flame the most. They're definitely the being that empowers people the strongest.
Okay. Sure. So you're just gonna have that commission to be emblazoned on your shield? Are you just like crudely gonna do it yourself, or are you gonna have it done by a blacksmith?
Yeah, I'd probably have it done by a blacksmith. So I don't know how much that would cost.
I mean, you're just having it like engraved or embossed.
Yeah.
Probably like 10 gold.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so I'd get that done. And then I would try to arrange a meeting with the Sharn Inquisitive, was it, who wrote the paper initially?
Interesting. You want to meet with the author, the editor of the issue about the riots in Ashblack?
Yeah, they've definitely touched Ari's heart. A new pet issue to try and champion.
Okay, interesting. So, what were you gonna try to do with that exactly?
Well, I was for sure just going to like share like what I learned to them about the riots, and like try to like give them the perspective of like the people down there from like my experience talking to them, and also see like if they've identified like any like powerful people or whatnot who like could possibly be talked to or persuaded into not polluting these poor people's waterways.
But I'm not the only one who was like, we gotta stop that shit.
Yeah, hell yeah, we gotta stop that shit.
Yeah.
So is this gonna be your long-term project?
Yeah, and like I would probably like open it up to, the group So if like it could be like maybe like I write him a letter to try and arrange a meeting, and that takes place at like the end of downtime, I'm cool with that.
Mitra is interested in this moral cause, unsurprisingly.
Well, you do know that on the back of every issue of the Sharn Inquisitive, there is a small section that basically says, anonymous tips are welcome. Send a letter to this address. So, what would you like to do with that information?
Yeah, I would send a not so anonymous tip, and say, we have spoken to instigators of the riots and the cogs. We seek to try and help them and clean up their waterways. What more is your organization trying to do to tackle this issue?
Okay. Do you include
Yeah, and then like sign it
return
off,
address?
Ari, and yeah, give the address to a myriad of mysteries.
Well, you pen that letter and drop it off at the nearest mail collection box. And a few days later, a letter arrives in the box of myriad mysteries. And Jack's like, it's for you, Ari, and he just like tosses it over to your desk.
Excitingly open it up.
So, 2 seconds while I create a reply.
Go for it.
I wish there was like a loading screen that I could like load you into right now.
For sure.
Right, cue Jeopardy music.
Yeah.
Okay, so the letter you receive reads, "Greetings, Ari. I hope this letter finds you in good health," in quotation marks. "Would you be interested in meeting to discuss this further? I would like an interview if possible. Please respond as soon as you can, and please be discreet. Signed, Ada Ravana, editor of the Sharn Inquisitor."
Reading that, who is everyone else here at the moment?
Sure.
Nice. Friends, a wonderful opportunity has arrived. We can speak with Ada Ravan of the Sharn Inquisitive, give our side of the tale over what's going on in the cogs, and ideally, we find someone who also wants to make a difference there. And
Do you really think it's a great idea going public after we've been in the...
Well, I wouldn't
Taste
mention
of,
the part about the
you know.
desk, perhaps, but
yeah, we can be
I mean, being
coy
public might
and
actually
discreet.
keep us a little safe, honestly. There's that.
we'll make sure not to talk about how we beat up several members of Dask on our way to speak to their leader. They don't need to know about that. They just need to know that we spoke to people who were in the riots.
Indeed.
And
Well-
it's been a few days into this, so I would assume I would have like definitely figured out like what it like. I would have filed forms for whatever sort of EPA there is in Sharn. You know what I mean?
There isn't an EPA. The only person
There's
you can...
I mean, there's bureaucracy and
There
there's
is a bureaucratic system, but there's not...
Yeah, and they have sewer systems and everything else. There's got to be some sort of oversight. That's what Civis is all about.
The tricky part is that you're dealing with the cogs. Specifically, Kyber's Gate, which isn't even considered an official district. There's no government oversight over that particular district. Now, there is government oversight over Ashblack, but that's mostly handled by the council member who's in charge of the upper cogs, which was that name I brought up earlier.
Oh yeah.
So could I like do like maybe like an investigation role to learn some information about all this? You know what I mean?
Well, it's all public information. Basically, the man who's the city council member...
Oh, Nolan Toranak was his name.
Yeah, he represents what's called the upper cogs, which includes Blackbones and Ashblack. And
Nolan
course,
what?
Toranak. And of course he has public office that you can send letters to. No guarantee it's actually going to be read by the man himself, but you could do that.
Well, that's just what I shall do.
So you're just going to submit a complaint about what, the water
Not
quality
really
in
a
Ashblack?
complaint. I guess it would just be like I would even put some of the article about it, right? And then put my accounts to what's going on. And I would ask for the water to be tested. And to say that I'd like to raise this concern to you, basically.
You're right, to your local congressman.
Interesting. But are you going to be writing this complaint as just a humble citizen? Are you going to try and do something to make it more official?
I mean, I'm going to put my signet of House Civis on it.
Okay.
Try to, you know what I mean?
Getting
Getting
it stamped by House Civis would certainly help, though you know that House Civis is very careful about their stamps. They actually use a sort of magical ink. All of their official paperwork that passes through the house. It's been some time since you've actually worked in one of their offices, but those sorts of stamps are very tightly guarded because they are basically considered the de facto way of officiating documents within the city. Like, if you want to have a contract, for example, officiated, you got to get a stamp from House Civis to show that it's legit, so to speak. But that's one thing. Another thing is getting House Civis
one on there, right? I am an agent of House Civis, so like, I could put my credentials to it.
That's another thing.
Minimum.
That's another thing, though. If you're acting on behalf of the Dragonmarked House, they really don't like it when you do that without prior permission. So
Well, me putting my own stuff on it, I don't think would be.
well, yeah, it actually would be if you're doing it as official. If you're doing it as house business, then it is a matter of House Civis's interest because you're essentially representing them. If you're doing it as a private citizen, that's one thing. But including your credentials as a member of House Civis and making it sound like a
I
House
mean,
Civis matter, it
I
might.
won't write it in a way that makes it look like it's a House Civis matter, but when I sign it, I will put who I am and where I'm from, and you know what I mean, and just kind of throw my weight around in that perspective. You know what I'm saying?
So it's like you're a House Civis member,
Yeah.
and then it's
Who's
unclear if
inquiring
it's
about
like
this.
House Civis also approves, but
Yeah, that'd
One
be
of the
better.
kind of
Ken- one-
leaves it
one of
vague
the-
enough.
One of the Kennedys just wrote a letter to their congressman. Counts for more than the average chump.
That's true. I'm just a chump.
The thing though is you have to make sure you're avoiding actually getting attention from House Civis, because if this blows back on you, you could potentially get in like serious trouble with the House if they think you're misrepresenting them or doing things out of turn. So I'll say if you want to do this, you can make a what should we use? I mean, let's just consider this intelligence plus proficiency, because of course proficient in these matters, to write your letter in such a way that it insinuates that you're a member of the Dragon Marked House without outright claiming to be. Like, like make it as subtle as possible so that, there's plausible deniability.
Sure, yeah, we can do that. So I'll just roll this intelligence saving throw, and then we'll add the 3 from proficiency. Oh, I didn't switch over to... This is the worst. Google Chrome, what are you doing to me?
Oh
Take a
man,
really
it's
long
been
time
stuck
to
on that question mark.
It's still
That was
rolling, bro.
terrible.
Oh, okay. 11.
Not great. But plus 3, so it's a 14. Because that's
that's-
not with proficiency.
Wait, how is that not with proficiency? You don't have plus 6 intelligence.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
So, yeah, 11.
Yeah, an 11.
Unless
Not
you
very
have some
great.
kind of feature that...
Scribe's intuition, maybe?
I mean, I'm...
Oh, you have the gifted scribe ability. That's what I was thinking of. I'll say you can use...
This is what I do. This is like... My bureaucracy and writing letters and stuff is like literally my entire character. Like,
Well, yeah, the gifted scribe ability would definitely be applicable. I'd let you add the d4 from that.
oh yeah, with calligrapher's rolls. Yeah.
Yeah. And if
I
we're
gotta
going
switch over.
off the 2024 rules, it's
The plus 3.
if you
yeah,
have the
14.
proficiency in a tool, it gives you advantage on the roll.
It gives you advantage if you also have proficiency in a skill.
Oh, okay. If you have it in
Really?
both.
Oh, well, I would say
Oh,
then
that would
in
be
that
great
case,
if I could roll again.
I would say in that case, then yeah, you would get the advantage. Pretty sure
Cool.
you are. This is
Let's
essentially a
switch over.
persuasion roll, but using intelligence. We'll say you're proficient
Yeah, it makes sense.
with this.
Oh no, I didn't.
Oh man, though, that is the longest rolling screen I've ever seen.
Does anybody
Yeah.
else? Does this happen to any? Oh,
No,
oh.
this is something unique to you.
Oh shit!
A nat 20?
for a 29 total. That's
Okay.
Alright, I'm
bonkers.
switching over to the like not Chrome.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Are you trying to appeal to Toranak's like concern for his constituents? Or are you trying to threaten him with litigation or something else? Even if you're doing it subtly.
No, I think that he would know that it's smarter to like put it in a way that could hurt him, and it's not me doing it. Right? He would know like how these type of people act, like work. You know what I'm saying? And so he'd put the news clipping in so that it's like this is happening here, and it's underneath of you. You're in charge of all this, right? And like just bringing this matter, it's in the news now. It's come up. There's riots. Like
But what I'm asking is, like, are you gonna leave that implication on the table that, like,
it
there
wasn't
could be
supposed to be like a threat. It's like I don't know. He doesn't really. I don't know.
More so trying
Weird.
to inform him of what's going on. Like this is what it is.
Because there are two ways you can go about this if you're trying to actually convince him. You can persuade him by appealing to his morality, or you can just intimidate him with the force of the law. Those are basically your two options. You're trying to coerce him into doing something.
I feel like he believes in the law and believes that like yeah, I think that honestly, yeah, he believes that like people will do the right thing and abide by the laws. So he's just giving him this information so that he can make the right choice. You know what I mean?
Okay, so we'll say that you did your research, particular assignment, and actually went to a library to bring up some legal texts related to Sharn and Brelish law. Found some obscure law from like 100 years ago about like access to fresh water, and you cited it in your letter directly. Was, floating the idea that this may be a violation of the rights of the citizens or whatever.
Yeah. Cool.
Even
yeah.
though technically Kyber's Gate is not a district of the city, it is within the upper cogs, and Taranak technically has purview over the entirety of the upper cogs. So that would also include Kyber's Gate. So you include all of this information in a strongly worded letter that you submit to his office. But we're not going to see the results of that yet. We're actually way off on a tangent because it wasn't even your turn.
I didn't want it to be all that. I was just saying in the 3 days I would have wrote a letter for sure, or tried to figure something out as well.
Yeah.
Correlated, or you know what I mean.
I'm sorry, Steph, that took
Oh
so
no,
long.
that was. I mean, I was invested in this letter being good, so I'm down. I'm happy that it worked.
Cool.
Okay, so back to what I was doing for downtime, and then in terms of like what I'd like to train, I would. Well, so the first thing I would do would be I would do my usual work, and I would pen a tale to my friends in Dragon Eyes over what we did, get their interest and pay for my nice services in Velvets. Was there any, did I perceive more interest in the telling of this tale? From, I guess,
sure. For sure. You get your usual 50 gold, by the way.
Oh yeah, it goes all to my living expenses. I don't even bother adding it in. Just assume for like a couple of days, I'm living like an aristocrat.
Nice. Uh,
Oh,
but
so
yeah, actually, like after you do this, you're approached by your friend, Savis?
sigh.
Sai, sorry. Um, and she's like, hey, so people are talking, um, they say you have an in with Dask?
Yeah, I think they liked me. Although I was a Knoll last time I spoke to them, but like they're pretty certain I'm not actually that Knoll.
That's like a really big deal.
Oh,
Because, let's just say our mutual friends, they've been wanting to do that for a while. It's actually exceptionally difficult. They're very good at spotting changelings down there. Did you know that?
I felt spotted, that's for sure.
I think
I
it's I think it's their sense of smell. They can just sniff us out. So if you manage to get in with one of them, that's huge.
Do you think if I did, maybe one of, you know, your bosses could teach me a couple of things?
I mean, you'll definitely be pulling some eyes your way. You might even find the big boss upstairs coming to chat with you.
You see, Sai, I'm convinced it's my path to further develop as a changeling, and well, I don't know if I'll become a doppelganger. I would like some of their powers, you know? Like being able to speak to people in their minds. Do you know how scary I could be if I could do that?
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, you gotta prove yourself. And let me tell you, you're doing a very excellent job, but you need to take the next step.
And what's that step gonna be?
You need to get close to this Pashka. Do whatever you have to do. But if you can get her to talk, not dash, like really talk, and perhaps float the idea of coming here to Dragonlands, sending one of her people to have a chat. Well, let's just say you'll be amply rewarded.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll do what I can. I figure she's watching me and my friends, so I'll just have to watch for a watcher.
Just be sure not to
And
ruin it. Don't step on
oh,
Dask's
I
toes. We want to
oh,
be
I never would.
there. We want to court a companionship. They've been fairly resistant to. But we think this is a wonderful opportunity.
I think it is too. It'd be a good thing for our people to be friends with them. That's kind of our purpose here. We bring the people together. And we show how we can mutually benefit each other.
But enough of that. Let's go get a drink. I'm bored.
All right, let's go.
Ah, so, um, well, over the rest of the week, you do get a letter back. You receive Or wait. No, you didn't. You didn't send a reply, did you?
Uh,
To her reply.
I think I completely forgot to. In my mind, I said it. It was that like, yeah, we're super interested in meeting me and my friends.
We can just say you
Uh,
sent a reply saying
yeah,
basically that.
and that we promise to be discreet.
Right, so you get another correspondence from this mysterious person. Goes by Ida Ravan, saying, would you be willing to meet at your place of business 2 mornings from
I would let everyone know that they'd like to meet in 2 days here. Any objections from you, Jack?
I mean, I don't care if you want to talk to the papers. If anything, it's good publicity. If you can, get us a shout out or something in the paper, that'd be nice.
I'll make sure to. Well, I'll write back. 2 days it is, and I, give her nice little instructions on how to get here. And yeah, I think that's it for me.
Well, those 2 days go by, and as you're waiting in the office, you hear a knock on the door.
I excitingly leap up to let him in.
So you see what you think to be a woman wearing a human woman wearing a large trench coat covering their whole body with a scarf wrapped around their entire lower face and a trilby hat on their head, which also has like curly red hair poking out from underneath it. And she quickly looks to this from one side to the other before walking in quickly. Hello, hello. Are
Hi
you
there.
Ari? Are you the Ari?
Yes, I'm Ari, and
She
these are my friends. Gesturing
she
out to Mitra, Remy, and Jackson and Jack.
she quickly shakes your hand. Hello, I'm Ida Ravana. I'm with the paper. We had our correspondence. I was hoping you could do an interview about this situation in Ashbrook. That's a continuing story I'm trying to follow up on.
Definitely. Although my story would be incomplete without that of my friends. They can fill in the details quite well as well.
Okay, sure, I can take all of your statements. He produces a notepad and a small quill and begins like hurriedly writing down notes as you guys are talking. So how much are you going to fill her in on?
So I would say, I would tell her that. So we spoke to a young man who was involved in one of the riots, a shifter boy. He explained to us that the water sources in Kyber's Gate have been completely polluted by ash black. They said that they've been rioting there, and they've even had some support from, the individuals who make Kyber's Gate their home.
And who would that be?
I kind of nervously look at Mitra.
We had been hired to find a young boy who ran away from home. He has friends from that district, so you can imagine he's quite sympathetic to their plight. And he was caught up in the riot. He told us how the drinking water's been polluted, and you can understand our concerns and our hope that more public attention might compel the council to act.
Fascinating. I've heard rumors that Dask was involved in the riots. Do you know anything about that?
No, I can't say I do. It's certainly a fact that they live down there, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people who are, and Dask needs clean water as much as anyone else, to be sure.
Indeed. Whether we do not believe the boy to have been a member of Dask, but I wouldn't be surprised if they too are, well, helping the people of Kyber's Gate make their ire known.
Interesting. Can I speak to this boy?
I don't think that would be wise, and I'm confident his grandmother.
Of course, he has. There will be full confidentiality. If he wishes to remain anonymous, I, of course, will agree to that. And if you want to get this story out to the public, it would be in all of our best interest that I get the full story from him.
I am willing to deliver the request on your behalf to him. It will be his choice.
Yes, and our friend here, and I point over at Jackson, he actually has written a letter to Nolan Doranok of the COG's representation on the council.
Oh, yes? Did you submit a formal complaint? Caleb?
Jackson?
Caleb!
Yep, I was muted there. Didn't realize it. Yes, of course. Something obviously needs to be done about this, and I've done some digging as well. These people have rights to to clean water, as anybody should. So,
Fascinating, fascinating. Well, I'll be sure to get a statement from him for the next story.
Yes, and if you can, let it be known that we here at Myriad of Mysteries are also looking into it.
Are you for hire?
It depends
we
on
all
the job.
look at Jack.
If you got gold, we'll look into it. Well, yes, I might have need of your services. Perhaps in the near future. Myriad Mysteries, right?
Mm-hmm.
We should
Well.
put that underneath the sign, Jack. If you got gold, we'll look into it.
Perhaps we'll be doing business in the future then.
Perhaps we shall.
I look forward to it. Can I have each of your names? I won't necessarily include it. This is off the record.
Mitroban.
I'm just Ari. No final name.
She looks over
I am
at
REM
Jax.
143-37.
Yeah, I give her my name. I give her like a little card even. Quickly scribble it down and hand it to her if I have to.
Excellent. You've done some great work for us, and please feel free to submit a tip in the future. She
You,
fills
look
like
forward.
over the course of this conversation, she's like filled like several pages of notes, and then she just snaps her notebook up suddenly, and it says, "Well, good day," and just hurriedly walks out. Bye.
And Mitra insight this conversation to see kind of how genuine Ida seems about her interest in the story. If she's genuinely concerned or if she's just looking for sensational headlines, etc.
Sure.
23.
You can see that he's kind of an odd person. Her behavior, the whole conversation was kind of detached, but you're not sure if that's just how she is or if that's because she doesn't care about what is going on. Something you do pick up on, though, is that she does seem very keenly interested in the Dask angle of this. Was very pointed with her questions in relation to that part of the story more than anything else.
Yeah, I think we all knew better than to go on the news, and it really wouldn't help their cause any. I don't think, if you know what I mean. That's what the news article is.
Nope.
Seems like she may have been fishing
I kind of
for,
wanted to say that.
It seems like she may have been fishing for a headline with that Dask stuff. But perhaps, you know, for her it's just burying the lead. Like, you know, an eye-catching title that can get eyes on a genuinely concerning story.
I think
Well, you know,
she's probably gonna go straight to the kid too. She's gonna go look at hospital records and go straight to the boy.
I mean, I'm sure that his grandma can keep him having to talk to the press.
I meant
Or-
what I said. I'll bring her request to the boy and he can choose for himself.
Or perhaps she was wanting to sensationalize the story. But, who's to say? All you know is that Dask seemed to be her angle that she was going for.
Well, you know what? She has a quote. Dasks deserve clean drinking water too.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be like quoted with your name next to it and address.
Oh god.
Yeah, Mitra will live with that.
Stand on it.
All right. Well, that puts that to bed. Is there anything else that you
Nope.
were looking to do? Okay. So next up, we'll go to Caleb. What is Jax doing with his 2 weeks fight, or besides writing a rather lengthy note? We're going to consider that to be your long project, by the way.
That's fine, yeah. Besides that, it would just be picking up some, like, simple stuff at the store. You know what I mean? Some calligraphy. Well, I don't really need calligraphy tools because I have my magical quill and all. But, yeah, just little random things.
Do you want to
Nothing
make
crazy.
spell scrolls?
Yeah, I would like to try to find some scrolls if possible. Because I
Okay.
can take a scroll and I can scribe it into my book. So if there's any spells that I can find that I don't have.
No, I mean like using your calligraphy supplies to create a scroll out of a spell you already know, not learning a spell from a scroll.
Well, what kind? I mean, either one is good. If there's markets around here who actually do have spell scrolls, you know, the latter.
Learning a spell has difficulties Not necessarily in regards to like memorizing it or whatever, because there's there's an actual mechanic for that wizard.
Yeah, on
It
my
doesn't take
so I have this ability. The time you must spend to copy a spell into my spell book equals 2 minutes per spell level if you use the quill for transcription. So if I use my magic quill and I have a spell scroll, I can copy it into my spell book and it only take me 2 minutes.
The problem is finding spell scroll,
Yeah, that's
particularly
what.
for a specific spell, is actually pretty difficult. Those are not
Yeah,
just readily handed out by most organizations. You probably have to go through either one of the mages guilds that exists within the city, or House Civis themselves, which um, would require some
it all
base.
depends on the market. Yeah, like I was saying, if it just it's all if they have spell scrolls available to buy, and if they
You
don't,
could have
I
done
could
that
take some.
if you had a long project, because that would be a long project to hunt down specific spell scrolls. But with the time you have, you can still copy the spells you already know onto scroll and craft your own spell scroll.
Yeah,
That is something you can do.
here's the rules for that, in case you're not familiar with the new ones.
I don't think I have.
It
Equipment.
costs like 100 gold for second level spell, 25 gold for a first level spell, 15 gold for a cantrip, etc., etc.
This took me to equipment.
Well, if you just tell me what kind of
Yeah.
spell you want to copy, I can tell you exactly how much it would cost you to create a spell scroll on it.
You said 100 for a second level spell scroll.
Right.
We'll do that. We'll copy Vortex Warp.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, and then I'll just I don't know, buy some little things that I didn't have, right? I won't
Like
use
what?
anything more than common.
What were you looking for?
Like a lantern and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, you can go
Yeah,
buy basic equipment.
yeah, basic
You
stuff.
want. Make sure you're subtracting that gold.
For sure.
What were you gonna do with that vortex warp scroll? You gonna give it to another party member? You could do that now. You're just gonna hang on to it.
I think I'll hang on to it for now.
Okay.
And then take when I prepare my spells, I might take Vortex Warp out of my prepared spells.
Oh, but keep in mind that if you're giving spell scrolls to other people, the only people that can use them are people who are spellcasters, have that spell on their class's spell list. So I don't know if Vortex Warp could be casted by Ari. I don't think that's on the cleric spell list.
No, I think it's only a wizard spell.
So yeah, just keep that in mind when you're copying down spells and you want other people to use them.
For sure.
So did you have anything
I'll
else?
Because I think it's a really cool spell, but I just don't use it that often, right? So having a scroll of it, I can keep it in my ability to use. But
Yeah, you don't have to have it prepared.
yeah.
So was that everything you were doing with your downtime?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's chill. Just sit and I think I'd spend a lot of time researching about the problem and finding that anyway, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
and then sending the letter, doing a little bit of scroll working before getting back with the media meeting. Kind of just kicking back with Remy, talking about, you know what I mean, what we've been doing.
Okay. John,
Definitely spend
we're
some
gonna go to
money in
you
lodging.
next. What do you think Mitra is doing with her downtime.
How much does it cost to get a goggles of night?
Okay, well, let me see. Is Goggles of Night a common magic item? I don't remember.
Uncommon.
I think it's uncommon.
Okay, finding anything that's uncommon or more expensive is a little bit difficult. So even if you've got the gold, there's no guarantee you'll be able to find one sale.
Okay, we'll look around the market.
These sorts of things are not sold in like your average market, though you can occasionally find items of this variety in sort of back alley deals, shady markets like the Great Bazaar in Dura. The easiest route to finding a specific one that you want, though, is to go to Upper Memphis, specifically around Moorgrave University. There tends to be, well, collectors of artifacts in that area who also happen to peddle in some of the magic items that they procure. So,
Yep,
if
do that.
if you'd like to hunt around there to try and find Goggles of Night in particular, that's what it's called, right? Goggles of Night? Is that what you said?
Yes. Yep.
Let me just look it up, see what it is. 'Cause I actually don't
Dark
remember.
vision.
Oh, that's what they do? Okay. Okay. If you do that, I will consider this a long project. So, are you sure?
She will also spend one day crafting a potion of healing with the herbalist kit.
Okay, well, that's not going to be a long project. But searching around for the Goggles of Night will be. So, for searching around, trying to find any sellers, which, by the way, they don't sell these things in broad daylight, even up here, because it's technically illegal to sell artifacts, specifically ones that were procured from, ancient sites, like, places in Zendrick. Lots of artifacts from Zendrick pass through the city all the time, because it's sort of a way station for adventurers that are coming from there.
Nature will use her shift weave and shape shifting to appear as someone less conspicuous that would frequent a shady market.
Well, what you end up having to do is not going to markets necessarily, but going to antique collections. There's a number of private collectors in the area. You end up having to speak with a few of them. So,
is it a nice antique shop?
Well, we'll see depending on your role how you find your way there. But for this, I'll say you can roll persuasion.
I'll use a luck point. Wow.
At least it's not a crit fail. Okay. So you spend several days asking around Upper Memphis because you've heard rumors that there are people who sell these kinds of artifacts here. You also but you end up getting nothing from the the antique dealers there, who just turn you away when you start asking about magic items for sale. Seems that whatever back deals they have going on up there, you aren't able to get access to, but you do find another way, which is your last resort, and that's going down to Death's Gate, which is, to be a haven for, let's say, morally gray adventurers coming in and out of the city, mercenaries, treasure hunters, maybe even a few pirates.
Oh, that's fine.
Frequent this district all the time. And of course, as adventurers, they're well equipped. So you start asking around, and eventually you're told of a man who happens to have those goggles, who was spotted in the town. Just an adventurer who goes by Dirk, who would just like hang out at one of the many bars within the district. You eventually find him, and the dude's like, "Wait, you want my goggles?"
Yes, then I'm willing to pay fair price.
He's like wearing a bandana, and like the goggles are like going above them, so you like can't even see his face. All you can see is like his rough brown hair going over it. But he slides them up to like look at you, and he's like, these things are what get you through those tombs down below the city. The ones in the depths.
Yes.
Those dwarves down there, they pay a high price for this kind of thing. It's in high demand. It's pretty hard to get my hands on these.
Yes, I find myself going down to the Undercity more often. Although, dwarves can already see in the dark, can't they? I'm sure I agree this is valuable, but perhaps not as valuable as you're implying.
No, the dwarves, they sell it to the gutter dwellers down there. There's humans that live down in the depths.
True.
They traffic it. Lots of treasure hunters down there. But yeah, I'll say 300 gold are yours.
275.
Ooh, make a persuasion check.
Not 20.
Yeah, deal. He takes them off.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Gold first.
She will slide over the gold.
He like counts it while the goggles are still in his hand. Alright, here you go. And he just tosses them to you casually.
Thank you.
Alright, so you have acquired yourself some goggles of night. At a premium price, of course. Knowing what you know about magic items like this, they probably shouldn't have fetched such a high price. Feel like you got kind of highballed there.
Well, she certainly needs these.
Anyway, was there any other... Oh, right, you wanted to create some potions, right?
Yep, she can just do that for 25 gold with her herbalism kit.
How many are you going to attempt to create?
Just one.
Okay, so in this case, it would have been survival with the herbalism check, or the herbalism kit. So You don't have proficiency in survival.
Oh, she has. You can just craft as part.
Oh,
of
wait, but
proficiency in
medicine.
herbalism kit.
Right, medicine. I always forget about medicine. Yes. You do have
So
proficiency with medicine.
I mean that with proficiency in the herbalism kit, you can just craft. She's already done this before. The last time.
Wait, it wasn't a check to do it?
Not for
No.
crafting basic items. It's the same as doing the spell scrolls.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. I forgot because in another of my campaign, I have players creating like higher tier potions, and for those, I do require checks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right. For just a regular healing potion, it would just be automatic. So yeah, just 25 gold worth of the herbs, and you're good. So if that's you, then that just leaves us with Bishop. How is Remy gonna spend his first 2 weeks in Sharn? You've never been to this city before. It's huge and extremely daunting.
I would probably try to reach out to members of House Thrask to gather information, see if they've heard anything about the gentleman I'm looking for.
Okay, but are you just gonna be spending your whole 2 weeks trying to hunt this guy down?
Yes.
Alright. By the way, the rumor that you heard was that there's apparently an extremely powerful necromancer who lives in Sharn in secret that, according to rumor, has powers over life and death as well as souls. That's all you really know coming into the city. You don't know their name. You got no leads to follow other than that.
Correct.
So, I'll say, just to determine how much progress you're gonna make on this, let's have you do an investigation check.
Not terrible.
That's a 14. Okay, so we'll say that the first place that you head is to Dragon Towers, which is a district in Middle Central, apparently. You have to ask around constantly for directions from people as you're walking through throngs of them towards the center of the city, which is where the central plateau is. It's like the beating heart of Sharn. It has the highest towers that peer above everything, all except the skyway that floats even higher above that. And yeah, there's all kinds of business going on in Middle Central. It's extremely busy, especially during the days. But you ask around, and apparently there's a Thrashk enclave in Dragon Towers, which is up in Middle Central. So you head up there, you find sort of a lush, extravagant, like, park in the center of this district that has a fountain with several statues surrounding it, each one representing one of the dragon-marked houses. And you notice there's quite a lot of dragon-marked heirs making their way in and out of this place. But after asking around, you manage to locate the Thrashk enclave that exists in there. You're greeted by one of their clerks that runs the office. And you start asking about maybe talking to one of the they call them seekers within the house. Those are what they call your average bounty hunter within House Thrash. And you're told basically that if you want that kind of information, there's not many people in the Enclave who are, let's say, readily available to talk to you about that, even though you know, technically an employee of the house. You're not on the same level as like the Dragon Marked heirs. You're just somebody who's done work with the house in the past. So you're not really worth the average Dragon Marked heir's time. But you are told of a nearby location called the Globe Information Agency that could help you. So you head over there, and you find a sort of luxurious-looking entryway that looks like almost like the foyer of a manor, and you are greeted by a bunch of private investigators who offer their services. Are you willing to pay for information related to this thing you're researching?
Depending on the cost, as I don't know what the price would be for what I'm trying to have happen. I don't know if it's going to be money or what.
Well, you're greeted by a half-orc gentleman who, information on him. You actually meet this human woman with a dragon mark actually climbing up the side of her neck. She introduces herself as Kava. She says, "Oh, you're in good hands. Believe me, if there's anyone in this city, I can find him. But what exactly are you looking for?"
The only information I have to go off of is that they are a very powerful necromancer and that they live here in Sharn.
Interesting. Well, I can do some digging on my end, but of course, I'm going to need some compensation. Now, you're talking about a necromancer. Necromancy is, for the most part, forbidden within the confines of the city. It's actually against the law to practice it, except with a few exceptions. So, how about this? 100 gold, and I'll find you the exact person you're looking for. Or you could walk away and try looking yourself, but good luck.
How about 90 gold?
Roll a persuasion check. And as you say that, she kind of frowns a bit. Yeah, I don't operate like that. Sorry, I've got plenty of clients. I don't usually haggle with any of them. Usually they're the ones that name their price. But since you're nice, I'll give you a free tip. I've heard, personally, there's some, let's just say, shady activities going on around Moorgrave University. I've heard that some members of the Guild of Starlight and Shadow have been meeting up near there, somewhere. And that a few of their number are practicing necromancers.
What did you say the name of the guild was?
The Guild of Starlight and Shadow. If you want, you can make a history check related to them. Is that an 11?
Yep, that's another 11.
Yeah, you got no idea who that is.
Very well. I appreciate the tip, Kava.
Yeah, good luck. And also, just a tip between you and me, don't go asking around for necromancers just anywhere, okay? You're lucky you talked to me first. Let me just say that.
I'll keep that in mind next time. Thank you.
Good luck. So, are you gonna head out and try to locate this Guild of Starlight and Shadow yourself?
No, I think at this point I would head back to the agency and talk to Jax and see if he knows anything about them.
Okay. Yeah, so, did you want to help with that, Jax? Hello, Caleb. Earth to Caleb.
Yeah. If I'm at Myriad of Mysteries when he gets there and asks me about Star or the Guild of Star and Shadow, I would honestly I'd like ask Jack about it as well. Like, what do you know about this?
Well, first off, roll a history check yourself.
Okay. Was Jesus.
Yeah. You don't got any clue.
Would Ari maybe know something, given my time in the underground?
Fine, you can roll a history check too.
Hell yeah. Alright, 18 for Ari.
Okay, you've heard this name before.
Hell yeah, that's what I take expertise for. Okay.
You know that there are two main mages guilds that exist across Corvair. You know, these aren't just local guilds. These are, you know, country-spanning guilds that have enclaves in several cities. One of them is wait. What? I just had their name. I'm sorry.
Starlight and Shadow?
No, the other. I'm thinking of the other one. What are they? Wow, I'm sorry. I'm just pulling a blank on that.
No, I think I know what you're talking about too.
Well,
See if I can-
there's a more official Mages Guild. But they're very strict on rules.
Is it the esoteric order?
Yes,
Arion?
the Esoteric Order of Arion. They're the most well-known Mages Guild, and they're very strict about rules in regards to their magical practices, and they don't just offer their services to anybody. They also have pretty strict policies about necromancy. However, there is also another guild, known as the Guild of Starlight and Shadows, who is known to be sort of the very opposite end of the spectrum, where they like to see themselves as free thinkers. And they like to experiment with magic in a variety of different ways. And support, the mages that are normally excluded from, like, higher academia, like necromancers. But even still, they are bound within the limits of the law, as much as they would prefer to not be. So, on their official public stance is the same about necromancy, that they won't permit anything that goes against the laws of Breland. But there have been rumors that they've been skirting around some of these laws. That's about all you know in relation to them.
Alright. I'd share that all with Remy. Yeah, so you got these rogue mages. They don't like to follow any rules.
Interesting.
They also do have an enclave within the city. I guess I should have said that as well.
And yeah, they got a group here. Why? You trying to join them?
No, I'm looking for someone, and the person I'm looking for is supposedly a very powerful necromancer.
Oh. A friend? Or a foe?
At the moment, a potential business relation.
Well, who am I to judge? Sometimes you need a body spoken to, a body raised. I get it.
Remy would just kind of nod in agreement. He would not try to divulge too much more of what he's getting into.
Okay. So yeah, where are you gonna go next? You now know that there's apparently an enclave, but you don't know where it is. And you were told by that woman you spoke to earlier that apparently there were some meetings going on around Moorgrave University. So that could be another potential lead.
Yeah, I would head. Well, I would ask if anyone knew where that was, because I have no idea where it is.
I mean, you could ask just about anybody, and they'll tell you. It's at the very top, in the very center of Upper Memphis. It's, one of the most well-renowned establishments within the city. Although in terms of academia, it's not actually held in that high regard by scholars. But it's very easily found. You can just easily go to Memphis and take one of the many lifts up to the very pinnacle of the towers there, and reach the pavilion of Moorgrave University. The university is actually spread out amongst several different towers One of them, its roof is just a pavilion. It seems like a gathering spot for students and professors and other faculty.
I mean, if you needed, help trying to get information up there, I'm sure that some of us wouldn't mind. I could go pose as someone trying to become a necromancer.
Yeah, Remy'd probably be
Besides that,
comfortable with Jax coming and sharing that info as they have past history, but I don't think he would be comfortable with Ari.
oh yeah, I guess I
And
don't exactly know what you're doing either.
he doesn't know if he can exactly trust these people yet. He just met them.
Also, does Jack have any work either as well?
So, is Jax going to be accompanying him?
I mean, I can.
All right.
It's better to have a
How?
plan instead of just going up there and being like,
Well,
you
I'm
know.
curious. Do you think Jax would have attended this particular college at some point in his life? It's not
I have
uncommon for
no.
members of House Civis to go to go to college.
I never really picked a college or anything like that, so I don't want to just be like, yes, I went to that college.
And it's totally possible. I mean, you are native to Sharn, right?
Yeah.
There's really not any other university around, so if your character did go to university, it probably would have been this one.
Well then, yeah, I could definitely. You want me to roll like a luck check?
No. I mean,
Okay.
it's just up to you.
Yeah, I can say he's definitely learned. He went to college before the last war.
Okay. So we can say that you've actually got some experience with this place. You know that Morgrave University, they have lots of different uh, classes about all different kinds of subjects. Most of them are pretty boring, normal stuff. The stuff they're most known for is archaeology and anthropology. Those departments are pretty big because of all the artifacts coming in from Zendrix. But in terms of magic, there actually isn't that many like official classes. But you do know that on occasion there may be people out recruiting for one of the mages guilds in the area. So you could try and find one of those guys.
I kind of just let Remy know about that. Like, that's basically what I say to him. Like, there's not going to be a lot of just like people doing magic everywhere, but we might be able to get lucky and talk to some of the guilds. I don't know, maybe just keep an eye on them.
Of course, I appreciate your information. Um,
I could.
it's the only lead I have at the moment, so
It's really kind of an awkward bring up, like, hey, have you guys raised any dead recently? Uh, but it might work.
I think it is maybe not the best idea to straight bring up necromancy. Maybe just that we are interested in, furthering our understanding of magics and see if we can find any of these members of this specific guild.
Yeah, I guess we'd go around campus and just like ask around a little bit, or what I know where they are.
Okay, so this would be another either perception check or investigation check from one of you, whoever's leading this.
Well, it's his downtime. I'm just trying to help out. He's
In that case, Remy,
kind of
go
guide.
ahead.
Investigation.
There you go.
So, you start walking around this grassy pavilion filled with deck chairs and tables where all kinds of, members of the faculty and students having meetings and such. You begin approaching some of them and inquiring about the Guild of Starlight and Shadow. Most of them seem pretty put off by the subject. But you eventually come across some guy, or rather some guy comes across you. You don't even approach them, they approach you. Some random student dressed in purple robes approaches you and he says, "Hey, psst. You're looking for the guild, right?"
Yes. Have you any information of their whereabouts?
Well, let's just say if you want a show, stick around till after dark. And then he just quickly walks away before you even get a chance to respond.
Okay. Remy will let Jax know, that they said to wait till after dark to see, that there's going to be a show of sorts.
Okay.
Do you wish to stay with me, or do you have other business to attend to?
No, you think we should, I don't know, maybe call Jax and see if the other guys want to come down and help?
Wait, you're Jax.
I'm Jax. Yeah, Jack. I meant like Jack's house or something. I don't know. Call him the Myriad. We could definitely use some help on this. I don't know. A show sounds kind of
Do you
could be
trust these
anything.
people?
No.
Of the Myriad.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they've been pretty good so far. It seem like the choices they're making are for good, so one guy gets a little punchy, but it's nothing we've never seen before.
That's true. We've seen our fair share of fighting over the years. If you trust them, then I'm willing to go with your gut and give them a call and see if they're willing to come help.
They have some sort of sending stones.
No, but I mean, you guys work at the same place. Probably
Yeah.
just meet there.
You probably go there and get back before dark.
Yes, that.
So you guys are gonna
Go look around for Mitra and Seb.
well, Mitra and Ari, do you guys want to help with this little escapade?
I love an escapade.
Okay, so yeah, Ari's on board, but what about Mitra?
Sorry, I was muted. Sure.
All right. So,
I mean, if anything, we'll get a good show, right? They're supposed to be doing some sort of fireworks or something. I don't know.
What exactly are we looking for, Remy?
So as I stated, I'm searching for a necromancer. I got a tip that the Guild of Starlight and Shadow, as you heard, are there. And while we were there looking around, a student approached me and said that if we wanted to see a show, to wait till after dark and then quickly hurried away.
Yeah, they
I'm
asked him if he was
curious.
looking for the guild, so we're assuming something's happening.
How
Precisely.
curious. Well, it sounds like we best not be late.
You guys want to dress up like college kids?
Oh,
Sure.
goodness, no, but I'm sure Ari will appreciate the idea.
Oh, I love a little dress up. All right. And I'll become a young half elf. Give myself a little bit of pointy ears. Don't get to have that too often in my disguises. And yeah, have some more typical upper Mentis clothes compared to what I usually wear.
Okay.
I don't know how much a little outfit would cost me. Maybe like 5 gold.
What? You're gonna buy something? I thought you had shiftweed.
I've limited myself into how much I have here, which is fancy dress, and then my normal outfit, and then 3 different priests: a silver flame, a traveler, and an Eladra.
Shiftweed
Ah.
has 5 preset outfits.
Yeah. So those are my 5 outfits that I've decided on. So I think, like, yeah, this would cost me something to get another outfit.
What exactly were you looking for again?
Something to disguise myself as like a young student. Like, we're going by textiles, one of my favorite documents of all time. The people of the Mentis Plateau wear a lot of light silks, and it's generally pretty flamboyant clothing, which is also right up Ari's
Oh yeah,
alley.
don't they have, what is it, glamour weave? Where their
Oh, I don't know if
clothes,
I
like,
would get some of that. That might be a little expensive.
That's what's gonna get expensive.
Yeah,
I'll
I
say,
was just looking to spend like a couple of gold.
yeah, I'll say it's like 10 gold outfit like that.
All right, perfect then. I'll add some traveler's clothes.
Okay. So you guys all head to Upper Memphis during the night?
Yep.
Alright. Well, as you guys make your way up there, the lights of the city begin to sort of streak up the sides of the buildings as the sky darkens, and the stars and the ring of Cyberus shine above you. In the night, it looks like there's not many people hanging around in the pavilion anymore. Occasionally, 1 or 2 people might walk through there. But as you guys sort of sit around and pass the time, eventually you hear a noise, like a popping sound, and you look over, and there's something streaking around through the sky near the tower you guys are standing on top of, and you can see it's a man dressed in a full cloak that's, dark and drooping over their whole body, who's riding atop a soar sled. For those unfamiliar, it's like a disc made of light that is... It's sort of similar looking to like a tensor's floating disc, I guess.
Static shock.
It's got an ephemeral quality to it, and they are pretty uncommon in Sharn, but they are a means of transportation that people sometimes use. But yeah, you see this guy riding around on one of those, going around the tower, and from his hands there's like shooting like sprays of fireworks, and then he hovers down his board near the edge of the tower and begins to put on a light show. And you see that there are some people who start gathering around and watching this performance. What would you
Do I
like to do?
see the student from earlier in that crowd?
Yeah, you do pick out that guy. Although he's not in the crowd, he's actually standing nearby, sort of watching the events unfold, his arms crossed.
I would approach him and ask him what was going on.
Oh, good, you made it.
Yes,
What?
I brought along a few of my friends as well.
Well, this is what you might call our community outreach. We like to, pull in some of the kids around here and introduce them to a little bit of that magical flair. It gets them interested.
Of course. So you are a member of this guild yourself?
Yeah. And who are you? Don't see Warforged on this part of the city that much.
Yes, I actually just recently arrived in Sharn. My name is REM Model 143-37, but you can call me Remy.
Okay. What do you want?
I am interested in learning about some not necessarily above board magics.
I think I know what you're talking about, he nods. But how do I know you're not a narc?
I mean, what do I have on me that says so? I am but a mere warforged.
You got a few friends watching you. I can see that much.
They are simply here in case things got out of hand. We weren't sure what to expect with the cryptic message you gave me.
I wasn't expecting a crowd to show up. Well,
I can assure
aside
you
from
they-
this one, you know what I mean.
I can assure you they mean well. As you can tell, one is priestly, and the other, that they actually go to school here.
Yeah, it's the priest that's tipping me off, you idiot.
That is fair. I'm sorry, was Mitra the one I was speaking to earlier that said they understood why I was doing this, or was that Seb?
Oh, Seb.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not dressed as a priest.
No, Mitra is.
Yeah.
What are you doing bringing a priest of the sovereign host around here?
They're just here for the show.
Yes, exactly.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. He just like squints his eyes at you. Do you want to make a persuasion check to try and convince this guy you're not a narc?
Persuasion with 10 gold as well.
Yeah, 10 gold's a little light.
I don't have a whole lot. Let's do 20 gold.
Okay. Go ahead and roll persuasion.
Oh, fuck.
He looks at you up and down. What do you take us for? Fools?
Gold's
Yeah.
gotta count.
Go ahead and report us to the church. Alright, we haven't done anything wrong. Alright? So just get off our backs.
At this point, I see him like getting upset.
I would assume so.
Come over and try to help a little. Dressed up like a college kid. I'm a little gnome guy.
Please, my friend Jack's here. He's
And I'm a
better
wizard.
spoken than I am.
But I guess I just like kind of walk over like, hey, is everything all right over here, Remy?
This gentleman believes me to be a narc, as he says.
Oh man, yeah. Jeez.
Oh, yeah, totally not. We would not speak to cops ever. That's so lame.
He's more worried about Mitra and the church.
Oh. Nah, she's cool. She just like helps people out. She doesn't really like talk to people.
This guy's like slowly backing away as you guys are approaching him, and you see him like reaching for something on his side, like inside of his like jacket. And he's like, "Look, do we got a problem?"
There's no problem here, friend. We are merely trying to join the guild.
Yeah, sure. And I'm trying to join the esoteric order. How about you fuck off?
What are you gonna do?
I want to kind of try to intimidate him a little bit.
Well, what are you gonna say to him first?
Look, I'm here to get information. If you don't want to willingly tell me, I will force it out of you.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely.
And I can
intimidation roll.
assure you that both him and the what you believe to be a priest, they'll mess your day up real bad.
I also want to kind of flip out my arm blade as I'm saying that.
Roll intimidation.
Could I be helping?
I don't think there's any amount of help you can do that would save
That
that.
would give you advantage. You need it.
I'll say
I need it bad.
I'll say one of you can roll separately.
All right, I'll roll separately. I am the goal. I am the group's trained intimidator.
There we go.
Oh, that's so much better.
I'm just picturing the college kid much more scarier than the dwarf horse with a sword in his arm.
You see this guy? He could cut you down in very few seconds. I think you'd rather stay here and discuss.
He slowly pulls his hand off from his hip, but he still maintains his distance away from you. Okay. I can tell you where the Enclave is. Is that what you want to know?
I mean, he's just here to learn some magic, man. I don't understand what you're making a big deal about. Isn't that what you guys are all, what we all came here for? Was to learn, you know? It's a fucking college.
If I tell you where it is, will you just fuck off and please leave me alone?
Yeah, sure.
How am I to know that you're being honest of the location?
It's not like he's hard to find.
It's
Fair
true.
enough.
We got you once. We'll get you again.
Okay, I'll tell you. Just relax. Let's not get messy.
I'll put my sword back into my arm. Continue with the information.
Alright. If you want to go to the Enclave, it's in Death's Gate.
Would I know where that is?
No, you have no idea where that is.
Would we know?
I mean, obviously Mitra knows because they were just there, and yeah, you would know too, Ari, because you're from that quarter. Like Death's Gate is like
What-
literally
what?
right above. Dragon's Gate is literally right above Dragon Eyes. Or sorry, not Dragon's Gate.
Oh.
Death's Gate.
I'll kind of
Oh
look
yeah,
at
I see that. That makes sense.
Have you heard of this place before?
Yeah, it's not too far from where I live. It's an adventurer's district. They take a bit more dangerous of jobs from what I hear. Say that's where the Enclave is though.
It's a dark tower on the north side. If you want to get in, you have to know the passphrase.
And what is that?
You have to say, when light falls, the shadows will rise.
Can I roll insight to make sure he's telling me the truth?
Go ahead. Yeah, this guy seems to be telling you the truth, though you do get the feeling that he's pretty confident that even if you do make it through the front door, you're not going to be causing any trouble for them.
In like he thinks that we're no match for them type of way.
Yeah, it's a huge enclave of magic, you know.
Perhaps.
We're not going there to cause trouble, so...
There may be a subtly threatening vibe about his instructions, but he doesn't seem to be lying to you.
Very well. Thank you for the information. You're free to go.
All right, let's get out of here. He like shouts over at the other mage, who looks over and speaks a magic phrase, and another one of those discs like apparates next to him, and that other guy like leaps over a railing onto it, and they both dash away, flying through the sky on them. Immediately, the crowd begins to disperse and scatter.
It's late. I'm sure you all are tired. We should probably head back.
That was successful, right? We'll call that.
Yes, I appreciate all of your help.
Oh, is everything going on all right over there?
Yes, I got the information that I was after from the gentleman.
Oh, good.
I gotta get me one of these flying discs, man. That thing was cool.
Are you sure you could control something like that? You are rather small.
What Remy, what are you saying? What are you saying?
Just that's a lot of
nimble.
power.
Small and nimble. Remember, I could definitely fly one of those things. I wonder if there's a weight limit. You think you'd even be allowed to get on it?
I would prefer not to be that high off the ground.
Okay, well, I'm assuming after that, your business at the university is concluded.
Correct.
Well, for now, I'm gonna say that's the conclusion for this leg of the of your investigation. Obviously, finding all this stuff took a long time. It wasn't just a day, and gathering up the people to and working up the guts to walk into the guild is not easy, especially when you have other tasks that you have on your plate. So we'll hold off any further investigations until your next downtime.
Alrighty.
And I think with that, we're gonna end the session there. Seeing as everybody got their downtime in. And I'm going to stop recording now.